we have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Quote, election officials are intentionally refusing to allow representatives and poll walk.
I'm going to send it to Bill.
This lady is marking the ballots. I filmed her a half hour ago doing 6, and she's still working at it. Let's stamp it, received, and let's fill in our 6 blanks. All at the top of the tickets on each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's a security guard right there who's watching her. The cops are in on it. Disgusting.
All right. And if you're just dropping in, do not look away, because it's the most important broadcast I've ever done. And you will see that it is 100% confirmed. I have confirmed it. You're not going to get this anywhere else. 100% confirmed, as everybody's coming in right now. The DHS countermeasures are in place. The National Guard, I'm going to show it to you, has been deployed to 16 states, and they're behind those barriers that, you know, the GOP is saying, please let us in, we want to see. There's National Guard troops in civilian clothes that are on the other side auditing, okay? They're observing, and the audits, all the countermeasures are in place. There's basically what we've watched up to this point is we've just let them play out their game and let them hang themselves. Everything you're seeing in the news is going to be null and void here very quickly, and I will present to you a checkmate bigger than any that you've ever seen in world history. President Trump is about to take down the global elite by changing the election system throughout the world forever. Forever. Okay? And I'm going to lay that out. Steve Pieczenik yesterday, this is what set me out on this path right here. Steve Pieczenik yesterday broadcast the following. Listen closely. And if you didn't hear it yesterday, that's okay. But listen to me. The reason why I'm rebroadcasting this, if you already heard it, don't say, yeah, I already heard it. Yeah. No, this is what we do. When we hear it, we need to set up a show like this so that we can share it with as many people as possible around the world. Listen to what he said. It's very, very important.
This is really a sting operation, contrary to what everybody else said. Trump knew this was happening. Eric knew this was happening and warned the public. I knew this was happening. However, I could not say anything about it. What happened was we watermarked every ballot with what's called the QFS blockchain encryption code. In other words, we know pretty well where every ballot is, where it went, and who has it. So this is not a stolen election. On the contrary, we reversed the entire game of war along the lines of Sun Tzu, the art of war. And Trump was brilliant and still is brilliant at it. The reason he hasn't been seen, and Alex correctly said, I haven't seen him in several days. Well, in the art of the war, you pull back, allow your enemy to make all the mistakes that they are making, manipulate the situation, expose them, and then come in for the final killing. And that's what's happening now. None of this was unexpected. All of this was expected. All of this is part of the sting operation we're running.
All right. Now, I'm going to stop it right there. We'll probably come back to it later as part of our show. All right. That's the great opener because he mentioned something. Did he mention QFS in this in that initial segment? Okay, the QFS that he mentioned. I said, what is QFS? And by the way, you can go to thePeteSantilliShow.com and you go to e-militia.com. I prepared materials so that you can share with your friends and family members. Okay? That's what this show's about if you already know about what's going on. But for those of you that know bits and pieces of it, You've never before seen what I'm about to show you, okay? This is literally a worldwide exclusive because I've been blessed. That's the only thing I can say. There's an update to the article down below here because I heard QFS, right? There was a Gateway Pundit article that was published, and yesterday I think everybody saw something that was taking place, and it was immediately discounted and re-explained, and I looked at it, and it didn't make sense to me until this morning, and I'm going to show you why it made sense to me. All right, there was a video, live stream video. All right, and here it is. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, right, we've got in the bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to play the video, and you're going to see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's one person sitting across the table, and then there's another person hand-filling out ballots, okay? Hand-filling out ballots. From what I understand, this is going on all across the country. Why is that person filling out the ballots? Well, the original publishing of this video and the article was quickly discounted, right? And I saw all the articles around it saying, "Oh, that's normal because if in fact a ballot is rejected, then we have a person who swears under oath and reads it to the other person who fills out the ballot, and then we have it rescanned." Why are they rescanning it? Well, there might be something wrong with the ballot. It gets kicked out, and then we want that person's vote to count. So they're hand filling out ballots. Here's the key thing. You ready? You need to recognize this. When that machine kicks out that ballot, there's a very good reason for it. And I'm going to show it to you from the Department of Homeland Security as to why a ballot machine kicks out the ballot. Okay? There's an indication that that's a fraudulent ballot. Let me tell you how and why. All right? Let's go back right here. We'll get to the QFS part here momentarily. All right? On the Department of Homeland Security website, and I've linked to it right here. You can go look at it. I actually went to the DHS website right here, and I'm going to click through so I can show you on the screen. Mail-in voting, election integrity safeguards, right? You can actually click right through on the article and verify it for yourself. But down below, it says that there are different types of ballot style codes. This one right here says most ballots have proprietary style codes, such as timing marks, code channels, or QR codes. If the codes are not recognized by the voting machines, the ballot is rejected and an election official manually reviews it. Okay? You understand that? Ballot paper specifications. Most ballots are printed on a specific type of paper. If the paper does not match the specifications in length, paper weight, or opacity, the voting machine will reject the ballot.
Mm-hmm. Now tell people where you're reading this at again.
I'm reading it again, and you can actually go to the PeteSantillyshow.com and click the link. It's on the Department of Homeland Security website, and it's right here. I'm reading it right here. I put a screenshot in there. Mm-hmm. And then here is the ballot watermarks confirmed by the Department of Homeland Security. Yesterday, there were watermarks that were talked about, right? They said, oh, there might be watermarks. Now, you heard from Steve Pachenik that there's a QFS blockchain watermark, right? And then we hear through the DHS that some ballots have watermarks indicating that the ballot is authentic. Watermarks are specific to each election and confirm the ballot was printed by an approved printing authority. Okay? Is that super crystal clear? Crystal clear? Right? On the article that was published, okay? Let me go down here. Oh, I got to go down. I actually included the article to the Gateway Pundit, okay? Let me scroll down. You got to go here because this is what the Gateway Pundit published. They said cheater caught on camera. It looks like it, but there's an explanation. Okay, here's the explanation via Citizen Free Press, and I love them. Everyone's trying to, and nobody's gone through, the lengths at which I did this morning, so they didn't get it wrong. They were just poo-pooed. Okay, say no. We have here. This is a ballot that can't be read by the machine. So someone reads the vote to a second person, who fills in the ballot, okay? The camera caught this woman filling out ballots. Was this illegal activity caught on video? And a security guard was seen walking past her, right? Let's go back to that video again. It's all being monitored. This entire room is a room of people filling out ballots that have been rejected. I just read to you that the Department of Homeland Security, which
horrible.
Huh?
Just a horrible practice.
The Department of Homeland Security has set it up so that the voting machines reject ballots if it's not on the proper paper and it doesn't have the proper coding. All right? So what they're literally doing right here in this video is they're taking all of the fraudulent ballots that are not approved by DHS, and then they're refilling them out right now. Now, they're getting caught. And keep in mind that, and I'm going to show it to you from the military websites. You're going to see, did we see the security guard passing through there? Let me show you. So you got security, looks all official. There is a live stream camera. Now this is not happening.
The way you explain that to me, the people that are doing this, okay, when the ballot is rejected by the machine because of whatever reason, and usually it's because there's something messed up with it. I mean, the watermark isn't right, or whatever it is, the ink isn't right, whatever it is. Okay,
yes, right.
These people, Pete tells me that his research told him that these people take an oath.
They both take an oath, and one
that they're going to be fair and do this right.
Okay, now here's the key thing, and I'm going to skip right past this, okay? And I'm going to show you that the National Guard, this was published on October 30th, that the National Guard has been sent to count votes in the election. Already facing a grueling year, National Guard members will fill out the roles of poll workers across New Jersey. That was the New Jersey one, right? During the next week's election. After mobilizing more than 150 troops, this was in New Jersey. This is the first article that I found. In June, for its first ever mission to support the primary election, the National Guard is poised to expand its efforts by backing up election officials across the state on the November 3rd election. The troops will wear civilian clothes and work under the direction of the county election officials and perform a range of duties to include manning and sanitizing poll stations. We literally have National Guard troops in there, and here it is. National Guard sent. That was the New Jersey article, all right? And it breaks it down pretty well. Then there's an article here from a military website. The National Guard is gearing up to activate across the country to support the November 3rd general election in several capacities. The missions range from assisting with cyber defense, working the polls, and standing by in case of post-election civil unrest. We're going to go to a break. I need everybody right now, okay? Because what I'm about to announce on the other side of the break, I'm going to show you the patent that exists that was put in place on this QFS thing and what it means to changing the election integrity. Worldwide, President Trump right now is poised to change the entire world's election system.
So come and get. I'm hungry. What's to eat?
Beans again.
Did somebody say hungry? Pistol Pete's Jerky at pistolpetesjerky.com. A herd of delicious flavors. Break bronco busting hunger. Lasso up your order at pistolpetesjerky.com.
Thanks, Pistol Pete.
I made it myself. pistolpetesjerky.com. Tell them Pete sent you.
Howdy, gunslingers. Pistol Pete's Jerky is the official beef jerky of the Pete Santilli Show. Go to pistolpetesjerky.com or click any of the links down below and order your delicious American beef jerky made right here in the United States of America. A strange video from Louisville shows a U-Haul truck unloading riot supplies to protesters, including riot shields, masks, banners, and signs. As things get more tense in this country, it's important to have the ability to protect yourself and your family, which is why I carry the Fighter Flare flashlight. It's a professional-grade, tactical, ultra-bright flashlight. It's solar-powered, so I don't need batteries. It has a USB connector, so I can charge my phone or other devices anywhere. It has other life-saving add-ons like an emergency strobe light setting, a compass, a wire cutter, and glass-breaking hammer. Plus, it's been recommended by military, law enforcement, and emergency professionals. This is the only tactical flashlight I'll choose to protect myself and my family. I keep one in the studio, in our car, one in our house. I keep a Fighter Flare flashlight in my bug-out bag 24/7. For a limited time, the Fighter Flare flashlight is part of a 25% blowout sale. If you want your Fighter Flare flashlight for 25% off, please visit fighterflare.com. Enter promo code P25 or visit the link down below in the description box. That's fighterflare.com. Enter promo code P25.
Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. Essentially, it's the glue that holds you together, but it starts to decline more than 12% every decade after your 20s. Low collagen levels can contribute to joint pain, sagging skin, and other conditions. Poor diet, smoking, and pollution accelerate the loss of collagen. But now there's ageless multi-collagen from BioTrust. Go to healthwithpete.com and discover this all-natural product today. Use ageless multi-collagen and you'll notice healthier skin, hair, nails, and joints in no time. Become ageless. Go to healthwithpete.com and order your ageless multi-collagen from BioTrust today. That's healthwithpete.com. Pete and I recently started taking Ageless Multi-Collagen, and in less than a month, I've seen a huge difference in the health of my skin and my hair when I look in the mirror. Get Ageless Multi-Collagen for 51% off plus free shipping by going to healthwithpete.com or by clicking the link in the video description box below.
Our American heroes love getting down and dirty, fighting for our freedoms and safety. My fellow Americans, the Hero Soap Company is a veteran-owned business with quality soaps and scrubs made in America for the benefit of our American heroes. Each bar of handmade soap is blended with a mix of essential oils, real goat's milk, saponified oils of safflower, palm and coconut, and all natural colorants. Place your order today by visiting myherosoap.com for a 20% discount, and for every purchase, a portion of sales is donated to charities focused on helping veterans and first responders. Visit myherosoap.com and subscribe for 20% off with promo code P. Every soap purchased is matched 1-to-1 and sent overseas to our troops. Go to myherosoap.com and order your soaps, scrubs, and even cool Patriot gear. Support our troops. Support our first responders. Support our heroes and let freedom clean by visiting myherosoap.com.
All right, the next wave from the second batch of text alerts has gone out, and people will arrive. Let everybody know they can rewind and go listen to, the 15-minute mark as we proceed here, okay? This is the most important broadcast that we've ever done. We will be shut down, but we are unshutdownable, okay? We are unshutdownable. If you're on legacy platforms right now, just know that you can actually catch us. You need to be on our text alert system. Text range to 81257 if you're not on it, so that when we do get shut down, because you know about the censorship that's going on. Steve Bannon got shut down yesterday. Very important broadcast he does. But we will send you a text alert where you can find us when we do. Now, you won't know, by the way, when we get shut down. All of a sudden, you won't see us on YouTube if you're sitting on YouTube or DLive or any other. But we have the ability to stream out no matter what. They'd have to remove us from like 15 different platforms total, okay? So text range to 81257. Also, we'll be providing updates on our Telegram chat. Right now, we'll immediately let you know. If you're on our Telegram chat, I would say you don't even need to be on our text alert system. Go to Telegram chat, PeteSantilli.mobi. At the top there, you can get in there right away. Everybody join us. We'll provide further updates. More than 3,600 troops are active in 16 states, some of whom are in civilian clothes, and they're at these counting facilities. Now let me give you a picture, okay? the bogus ballots that were pre-printed in China, okay? And then maybe hand-filled out and shipped here to the U.S., they were rejected by the machines. Then we have two people that swore an oath, right? The machine rejected the ballot. The other person filled in, right? What?
Right. Somebody told me to smile. It's not over. I'm not. I'm smiling. I'm just very intense listening.
Yes.
Go
Okay.
ahead. And watching.
Now this came from an insider in the news, right? News business, as they purported, right? Mm-hmm. And they said that the DHS announced an election audit sting after a contentious, and this was on November 4th, by the way, contentious U.S. election sparks confusion and outrage from election skeptics. On November 4th, the Department of Homeland Security sent out via, it's the Associated Press, that not everybody has access to, okay? It went to the news media. And see this right here? It says site cannot be reached. And I checked the link and I back-checked it, all right? Mm-hmm. The claim that says that you can have access to it if you have a OneWire account. There are only certain people that have OneWire. You have to work for a news organization. This particular one was from CBS, Rec Team 2, OneWire.net. So the claim that the guy said, I'm going to show you a screenshot. If you have a OneWire account, you can access it, all right? And let me tell you what it said from the Department of Homeland Security. In a stunning turn of events, the Department of Homeland Security announced that there was a federal government sting planned and executed for this election. It was established that this was intentional to determine the margin of fraud in the election system. With confusion in the election results as it is, the amount of fraud identifiers found in this sting is staggering. More than 14 million ballots during an early test by Homeland Security, all right, per the new countermeasures, as of 7:18 p.m. Eastern Time, 80% of the ballots have failed ballot integrity checks under this measure. A debrief of the election countermeasure from the Department of Homeland Security can be found below. The highest frequencies of these non-marked ballots is coming from Arizona and Michigan, where over 48% of counted ballots did not contain this watermark. These votes are overwhelmingly supportive of Democratic candidate Joseph Biden, okay? That was, and the link, here's the key thing. I wouldn't even mention this because of how it was put out on the dark net, okay? Mm-hmm. I actually checked the link here. It is a OneWire account. It's from CBS. They said it's a screenshot, and it was on November 4th when this thing was published early on before anybody heard about the watermarks, right? Okay, now check this out. So we got 3,600 troops. We have National Guards people in civilian clothes at the counting facilities. All right. We've got people hand filling out ballots because of ballots that were kicked back by the voting machines. Now you guys know why a ballot would get kicked back by the voting machine. The Department of Homeland Security controls all of the ballots. Okay. They control and issue all the ballots. And all of those ballots contained certain signatures. It had to be the proper paper. It's literally like currency, okay? Like with a, $100 bill, you got the silver strip in it, right? You have watermarks and so on and so forth. Now watch this. On August 17th of 2020, it's Business Insider. As Trump tries to sabotage mail-in voting, they begin by that way. They said the USPS has an idea to defend it against fraud using blockchain technology, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, U.S. Postal Service has filed a patent. I'm like, okay, a patent for quote-unquote reliable voting system that would use blockchain technology to improve the security and transparency of elections. The patent purposes sending voters a unique code in the mail, which they can then use to verify their identity and cast their vote online, and then storing that information on the blockchain to ensure votes aren't tampered with according to, and it says patent application. Now, I've enclosed in our article a copy of the patent, okay? And here it is. This right here is the blockchain patent, which incorporates the QFS blockchain watermark. I'm going to tell you in simple terms, all right? Let me tell you in very simple terms what the capabilities are here, all right? If you print up a ballot, if you understand RFID technology, let's say a can of Coca-Cola has a sticker on the bottom of it, and it's got a little wire. It looks like a wire, but it's a sticker. It's got some copper in it. It transmits and it receives, okay? You can actually have it transmitting. It's RFID technology. How do I know that this technology works? Is because even back in the day, we were experimenting with RFID technology, all right? So that with the grocery stores, the major chains, I actually tested it. We would take a pallet of Coca-Cola, and we would actually mix up the entire pallet of different flavors. Mm-hmm. And you take your entire pallet and you pull it through, like the scanners, the magnetometer things.
Yes.
You pull it through, and it gives you the exact number of every single flavor broken down because all of those RFID tags are transmitting. Okay.
Right.
This patent right here, through the blockchain technology, makes it absolutely 100% through blockchain access that you request a ballot. They'll send you a piece of paper, right? It'll have an RFID chip in it, essentially, okay? There will be a signature. It's actually a non-radioactive isotope. Non-radioactive. Now, what is a... first of all, before I even present this, I'm going to throw this out at you, Deb, because I never even mentioned non-radioactive isotope to you earlier. Mm-hmm. What is a non-radioactive isotope?
No, I don't.
Any idea?
No.
Well, okay, exactly. That's what most people are going to say.
And I think most people don't have any idea.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Stand by. Oh, there it is. Let me pull this up right here. Stand by. Band out video. There it is. This is called isotope labeling. Isotope labeling is a technique used to track the passage of an isotope, all right? The reactant is labeled by placing specific atoms by either the isotope. The reactant is then allowed to undergo the reaction. The position of the isotopes in the products is measured to determine the sequence of isotopic atom followed by a reaction of the cell's metabolic pathway, blah, 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 okay?
Right.
Nuclear magnetic resonance, right? Detect atoms with different gyromagnetic ratios. I'm throwing this out at you because this is how sophisticated this technology is. Non-radioactive isotope. They could let me give you, and I don't know about this technology other than taking a look at the patent because I'm a geek and I read the patent.
Somebody's asking a very important question.
Yes.
Do we know who owns this patent?
This is the United States of America. President Trump, okay, through the U.S. Postal Service, all right, and that's a great question because if I didn't make that clear and you guys need to throw questions at me, the United States patent application is by the U.S. Postal Service right here, okay? It was filed, look at the date of the filing here, August 13th of 2020. And this allows all of the balloting through the blockchain access to throughout the entire world, for that matter, all right? You, as a person who is an eligible voter, have an ID, right? We've got social security numbers. We've got all these identifiers, right? When you cast your ballot electronically, the U.S. Postal Service has said that you don't even need to go anywhere. You can request a ballot. We're going to have it pre-printed. It's going to have a watermark on it. It's going to have an identifier. We can track it. It went to your house. Then you go to your computer. You key in that number, okay? You have the ballot in your possession. Once you cast your vote, that's one vote, one person identified. And once you receive that number, right, you can't vote twice. You can't be an ineligible voter. You can't be any of that stuff. There's no such thing as scanning ballots and it being rejected by some machine. There's no margin for error there. It's one vote, one cast into the blockchain, and it's a patent that was filed on August 13th of 2020, okay? And then if you go read through it, the interface participant, election registrar, a notary to notarize it, right, electronically, and then there's the voter. There's the process for tabulating. It will secure, all right, absolutely secure digitally through a quantum financial system blockchain network. It's called QFS, Quantum Financial System. President Trump right now, through his administration, okay, and he knows about this. This you can go read the patent yourself. We now have the ability through this patented technology, once we get through this phase of catching them and letting them hang themselves on all these ballots that have already been pre-marked. And by the way, those ballots were pre-marked by DHS in late July, okay? Late July. They're all marked, and they have the equivalent of an RFID. You could literally take a bag of ballots, Deb Jordan, hear me out here. You ready?
I'm listening.
You could throw them in the trash, okay? And they're all marked for Trump. And the military can actually go to their little computer system and say, oh, where do we have ballots? Hold on a second. It's in that trash can at such and such address, and go pull them out and see they can go track because they've got little transmitters on them, all right? Non-radioactive isotopes, okay? QFS through the blockchain, all right? What we're going to do here, essentially, is through the audit, we're going to say this ballot right here was not filled out on an appropriate DHS marked ballot, right? The Department of Homeland Security says you can only cast a ballot on an approved ballot that is marked with a QFS watermark, and it's got a radioactive isotope. They know exactly the location of that ballot. If it gets thrown in the trash, they can go find it. All right? It's got a freaking transmitter on it. That's how, this isn't just a watermark. This is a specific paper like currency. This is a opacity, all right, that for that paper can only be printed by certain printers. If China is mass producing paper, they would have to have essentially the equivalent of all of those things, including the non-radioactive isotope watermark on each one of those ballots. It's impossible to replicate it. You cannot duplicate it. Okay? Make sense?
Makes sense.
So the U.S. Postal Service has filed that patent, and that was in August. The DHS has confirmed that there are watermarks. The paper is specific. All of those phony ballots have been cast, and they're all in the possession of those election officials. And I'm going to tell you something right now. After the audit's completed, there's going to be a lot of people going to jail, folks. A lot of people are going to jail. They're going to jail.
People are asking two great questions. What if the ballot, the original ballot, has been burned or shredded? I mean,
I don't know about that side of the procedure.
I mean, if they've gone this far,
no,
they will know that those ballots are missing, correct?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, first of all, the patent application, okay, for that process, the patent application has to do with, for instance, when they mail you a ballot, it's like mailing you a $100 bill that is not counterfeited. It's got certain signatures on it, right? They're going to mail you a $100 bill, right? You ask for a $100 bill, you get your ballot. It's going to have a specific code on it. Once you receive that ballot, then you'll be able to go online. This patent is for future votes. They're going to use the technology, meaning that ballot that you received has that watermark on it. It's legitimate, right? It's got a code on it, and then you're going to go to your computer system, and you'll be able to catch your vote from your computer. And it's all tied in. It's one person, one vote, one identifier, and you lock in that vote, and it cannot be tampered with, and it can't be duplicated.
And that's why
Right?
Trump is calling for the counting of every legal vote.
Ballot. You're hearing him. It's very, very coded. He knows about all of this right here. I'm going to play a video for you. Here's another person. This guy, very beautiful soul. What is his name? What is his name? That's Chris Cortlander is coming in right now. I wonder what he has. Let me play this for you.
Shalom, shalom, everybody. It is Wednesday night, November the 4th, 2020.
I'm going
It
to
is
play
now the
this
19th
video.
day
Just
of
listen
the
to this
October
because
month.
it's not just me that's
If
been
you're new to my
reporting this.
channel, my name's Daniel Lee. I live here in beautiful Juneau, Alaska. My mission statement's very clear. I preach and teach the Hebrew Jewish roots of the Christian faith on my website, spiritandtorah.com. I exalt Yahshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He is the only way, truth, and the life. I expose satanic pedophiles to investigative reporting on my YouTube channel. Been doing this now for almost 2.5 years. Not my YouTube channel anymore. It's been terminated. I'm on Rumble.
But by the way, we're preempting all of the news that's going to be coming. Keep all of this in mind, okay? All of the ballots that have been cast, it was a trap set up. Everything that's been counted and scanned has not been counted for which ones have the watermark and which ones haven't. So all the results that you're about to hear from the news mean nothing until after the audit. Okay? Is that understood? Nobody get discouraged at all. This has all been a trap. They basically were allowed to hang themselves. Okay? You know that stack of ballots? They're going to say, well, how many ballots were rejected by the machine, right? The National Guard's going to say, where's your pile of ballots that were rejected by the machine? How many were there? 10 million rejected by the machine? Oh, let's take a look at the watermarks. Were there watermarks on it? These are phony ballots to begin with. So basically what they're doing is they're taking the phony ballots and then they're handwriting them on legitimate ballots and rescanning those, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're not even, and that's why the president is having such a fit here, you guys. What Pete just said is so important. The machine is rejecting it because there's something wrong with the ballot.
It doesn't. It's not on the right paper and it doesn't have the right watermark.
Right. So you've got two people that are filling a ballot out and putting it on the right paper, and on the ballot with the watermark, so that the machine will take it.
Guys.
But listen, you guys.
Hold on a second. I already have people already in the threads. If you
well, don't even go in there. Don't even go in there.
If somebody says, "Oh, don't do your homework on that guy," first of all, I'm not presenting this guy. I'm presenting the information he's going to relay. So stop it, or I'll delete you, because I don't have time or room for stupidity right now. Okay. Stop attacking the messenger and absorb the information. Okay, go ahead.
So what's happening here is the machine won't take it, and it's not counting the vote. So they're putting it on paper that will. Is that what you're saying? Or even
they are putting it on paper that will. They may have been given a bunch of ballots, or who knows? Maybe they're phony ballots.
I mean, I don't even. Yeah, I mean,
we don't
even know.
We don't know.
Point.
But those are going to be audited.
Well, see, that's the point. That's what President Trump is trying to get at here.
Those will be audited once all the final counts are made. As a matter of fact, he wants everybody to close out. They want to say. He wants them to say, "Oh, Pennsylvania won by 100 votes," right? "Oh, Georgia was a close call," right? Oh, and what they're going to do is they're going to, if it's within the margin, they're going to call for recounts. There's going to be legal challenges. They're going to call for recounts, and they're going to audit them, all of them. The National Guard is present right now. Okay? Okay.
Now that we know.
Now listen to the information that's being relayed and stop attacking the messenger, including me. Because, you could also, I've had people in my threads say, Pete Santilli's an FBI informant. You can't delete the information. If I was an FBI informant and I just delivered all this information, I'm the best FBI informant you've ever met, right? Because that's good information. It came from DHS websites and U.S. patent applications. So there you go.
Now, I provide satanic ritual abuse survivors a platform to speak out on. I protect the innocent children by virtue of these other things, and I lead a nightly
He's going to read some stuff to
every
us
single
here.
night. We pray for President Trump, this nation, of the subscribers, each other, and we'll be happy to pray for you. All right, guys, I have a huge, this is probably going to be the most bombshell video I've ever made in the past 2.5 years. Here we go. Let's get right into this. All right. I'm going to start off with this tweet that I put up a couple of hours ago, just before our prayer meeting. I said, the scandal of our times is about to take down all the elites. And I'm talking about this tweet right here, where I said, President Trump tweeted on June 22nd, 2020, the following: rigged 2020 election. Millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. It will be the scandal of our times. And then I said, and now at JD Bernie 1 reveals, consider the Department of Homeland Security controlled official ballots production. The Dems and the deep state print extras, not knowing about non-radioactive isotope watermarks on official ballots.
You see where I got the non-radioactive isotopes on official ballots? That's
Right.
where I got that from. So whoever it was that dropped in there, oh, you better check out that guy. He's a blah, 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 blah.
Well, you did.
What's that?
I said you did. You checked it out.
No, I checked out. I said, what the heck are non-radioactive isotope watermarks on official ballots? What is QFS? This guy could be a pedophile priest, right? He just delivered some information that allowed me to research this, and I'm sharing it with everybody. Stop attacking the messenger.
Remember how Q always said, watch the water? Maybe he was talking about watermarks on official ballots. Military sting operation. After weeding out all counterfeit ballots, Trump landslide confirmed. Folks, they're going to reveal the fraud that's not only been going on in Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania and Arizona. They're going to reveal the fraud that the deep state has done in all 50 states.
Yes.
This is the coup de grace.
Yes, it is.
This is the ultimate time where President Trump and the Patriots, they lured the Democrats and the deep state into committing purposeful fraud because they were too stupid and they didn't realize that the official ballots had these isotope watermarks. They thought they could get away with it. They were arrogant enough to think they were going to get away with it. President Trump has been kind of silent today, although he's been tweeting like crazy, but he hasn't made a speech like Joe Biden has today on November 4th. He's been laying low and been kind of silent because he's letting them all commit these crimes so that the military can go in behind the scenes and arrest them all. Now, this was something that I reported way back July 14, 2020. I actually made a video about this. I remember it. This was posted on July 14, 2020. There's the date, this past summer. And this is from DHS, Homeland Security, where they say election security. Elections play a vital role in a free and fair society and are a cornerstone of American democracy. We recognize the fundamental link between the trust in election infrastructure and the confidence the American public places in basic democratic function. A secure and resilient electoral process is a vital national interest and one of our highest priorities at the DHS. We are committed to working collaboratively with those on the front lines of elections, state and local government, election officials, federal partners, and the vendor community to manage risks to election infrastructure. We will remain transparent as well as agile to combat and secure our physical and cyber infrastructure against new and evolving threats. So this is when DHS was put in charge this past summer of all federal ballots for federal elections. All right. And it goes into all the details about how they basically are coordinating with all the states, and they took control. They took control. So this is the proof. And I remember reporting on this back this past summer. This is again from July 12th of 2020. Now here we have an example. This is an example in the state of California from a letter from the Secretary of State, Alex Padilla, dated.
All right. Now, by the way, pay attention to this letter, okay? Because of the watermarks that were already transmitted. You see this? See the red PMS 192? See where it says red PMS 192 on the screen right here? That is the ink. It's a very specific type of ink, as if you were to use a specific type of ink for currency. All right. So the printing of that ballot has a specific ink on the watermark. Okay.
August 5th, 2020, which was written to all county clerks, registrars of voters throughout California from Susan Lapsley, the Deputy Secretary of State. And this is about the general election that was going to be coming up on November 3rd.
Deb Jordan, we just got a ninjet from Matt Fitz.
Thank you, Matt Fitz.
And if you guys like the work we're doing, please support us, please.
2020. Pursuant to Elections Code Section 13002 and the California Code of Regulations, Title II, Section 202.1015, 202.18, and 202.80.
Thank you to everybody for your support over at
DLive. Has selected a design and color combination
Connie
for
Spett,
use in the
38
November
special.
3rd, 2020 general election. The
Alley,
watermark,
676.
there
Thank
it is.
you.
The watermark for November 3rd, 2020 general election is the California poppy. The tint for the background and watermark is red PMS 192. The watermark and tint must appear on the ballot itself, not only on the stub. So we have an example right here. This is in California, where California, because of DHS at the federal level taking over all federal election ballots,
Got that?
California then is ordered right here to order that these.
This has been in the planning for years, folks. Okay, they basically this is an operation with countermeasures to detect fraud, and they needed to have those votes cast and for them to finalize these elections, as you're seeing right now. So whatever the elections turn out to be, it doesn't matter because they're going to go through and audit everything.
Watermarked ballots are produced and are used. So these are the official ballots, and this didn't just happen in California. I'm just giving this as an example. This happened in all 50 states because of President Trump and the Patriots putting DHS in control of the federal elections.
Your insight says excellent information. It is.
Yes.
Regardless who
So
it's
this was
coming
done
from.
through all
These
50
are
states.
official
All
documents.
legitimate ballots had a watermark on them. Every single one.
I checked that document, by the way. And
Now,
the ink.
this meme shows what the Dems and the deep state have been doing last night and today. Let's blow this up a little bit. That's as much as I can blow it up. Number one, Dem ballot fraud. Number one, Dems
By the way, on the Q boards, they actually gave us a preview of what was coming, and you're about to see that.
fill out blank ballots before election. Number two, Dems use election staff to destroy opposing ballots. Number three, Dems deliberately organize voting for non-citizens. And then number four, Dems store the votes to alter outcome during election. So because these are pre-filled out blank ballots that the Democrat and deep state control, they don't have that watermark. They're not the official ballots that were used and passed out the polling. These were stored away.
A lot of people
and
are
don't
going
have
to
the
jail,
watermark
folks.
on them. Now, Michael Kodry tweeted this out. He said, breaking, Wisconsin has more votes than people who are registered to vote.
What's that?
Total number of registered voters in Wisconsin is 3,129,000.
I went to Michael's page, by the way. I think he's the one that got deleted.
Total number of votes cast in
deleting.
Wisconsin, 3,239,920. This is a direct evidence of fraud. So why is all this fraud being pointed out? And it's not just Mike Kodry who pointed out in Wisconsin, where more people supposedly voted than even existed as registered voters in Wisconsin. President Trump, the last few hours, he's been on a tirade on his Twitter, even though he hasn't come out publicly to say anything. On his Twitter, he's been showing all these examples of voter fraud. Like right here, 3 hours ago, he tweeted out, Detroit absentee ballot counting chaos, blocked windows and observers, where they're literally blocking windows in Detroit, preventing people from observing the vote and trying to find out what's going on. Then again, President Trump tweeted this out 3 hours ago. Demands arise for the Pennsylvania Attorney General to step aside. This is the guy who came out earlier today and said, we still got 1 million or more votes to count, even though almost all the voting had been counted in Pennsylvania. And President Trump was still, I think, 300,000 to 400,000 votes ahead of Biden. So he's pointing this out, the fraud of this Pennsylvania Attorney General. He retweets out Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, the Republican House Minority Leader, who goes out there and says, we're not only going to take the House, we're going to take the Senate, and President Trump is going to win in a massive landslide. Then President Trump says this, our lawyers have asked for meaningful access, but what good does that do? The damage has already been done to the integrity of our system and to the presidential election itself. This is what should be discussed.
Right.
You see, he's not just looking to put a Band-Aid or win a few votes here or there. He's saying the entire integrity of our election system has been shot through by the D state because they put all these fraudulent ballots out. And we know what the real ballots are because of this watermark system that was put in place that the deep state stupidly was ignorant of or ignored or just were arrogant enough to think that they could, that it didn't matter. It didn't matter that DHS had put control over this. This is another indication, this tweet right here, that President Trump's not just looking to put a Band-Aid on. He is looking to completely expose how much fraud was done on the entire integrity of our system.
Okay, this is good information. I want to pause for a second right now. If you're on D Live, I hate to do this to you, but I need everybody's help right now, okay? If you have the ability to support us, yes, please do so. Also, I need to make sure that everybody, and I mean everybody, on YouTube right now, you click that subscribe button. What does that do? That energizes it. We got a lot of activity on the channel. This video should spread worldwide and have millions of clicks by the end of the day, okay? It should. I mean, if we're not being censored, this is the most important information worldwide. We need to let everybody know throughout the world that President Trump right now, I just showed you a patent that essentially changes elections around the world forever. Forever. This is how important this is. President Trump, by this election right now and this audit that's about to take place, will change elections forever. We will be able to, if we wanted to vote to change currency to a bucket of shells, we'll be able to go cast a vote securely, right? President Trump will send out a message saying, hey, you want to change currencies to buckets of shells? Go ahead and cast your vote, right? And it'll be done security. Elections will change. We, the people, will be in absolute control through the electoral process. We'll be able to change currencies. We will be able to control the flow of money. I mean, the impact of what we're talking about here is unimaginable. He will change the world forever through this process. Please click that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit the notification bell, okay? And not that I care about the notifications, but by doing all of that, we'll send this thing to as many people as possible on YouTube. Let's use YouTube. Let's do everything we can to get it shut down. Ideally, we want it to go to 500,000, 800,000, and we want YouTube to shut it down. We want to reach as many people as possible. We cannot be shut down, but please, I need your help in doing that. And do so on YouTube, okay? Do it on YouTube.
And then he puts this out. He says, we have claimed for electoral vote purposes the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which won't allow legal observers, the state of Georgia, the state of North Carolina, each one which has a big Trump lead. Additionally, we hereby claim, hereby claim the state of Michigan if, in fact, we are winning, if, in fact, there was a large number of secretly dumped ballots, as has been widely reported. And there has in Michigan.
By the way, somebody said, well, that'll mean we'll all get chipped. No. Chipping is forced upon everybody. This type of system is where you request a vote. As a matter of fact, if you don't want to be chipped, don't vote. You don't even need to vote. But if you do vote, your vote will count. It'll count once. It'll never be duplicated, and it won't be lost. That's beautiful, right? It's kind of like using PayPal, okay? It's the equivalent of, and you're on your computer. You have an IP address. You have the equivalent of a chip, okay? They know your location. They have an IP address. If you don't want to be identified, then don't get on the internet. You know, if you don't want to be chipped, then don't ask for a ballot. But you have freedom in that.
So President Trump's out there showing all this fraud going on in all these different areas and all these different states because it's leading toward an exposure of the fraud in all 50 states. Because I'm telling you, President Trump won in a massive landslide last night, and the deep state is desperately trying to cancel that out. Yep. That's what they're doing. And all the media networks are in it as well, including Fox News. So they're going to come down too in all this. Now, this is from Q-Drop 2479 that was posted back on November 11th, 2018. This was right after the midterms. And remember what Q posted. He said, what if the below could be proven? Election plus D party officials filled out many thousands of blank ballots. Number 2, election plus D party officials removed and destroyed legal ballots. Number 3, election plus D party officials deliberately organized non-citizen voting. This was the meme I showed earlier. But this comes from this Q drop back in November of 2018, right after the midterms.
Right.
4, election plus D party officials in XX locations across the U.S. under lock and key stored many thousands of blank ballots for purposes of altering the vote total. Who safeguards blank ballots? Who issues blank ballots? Who controls blank ballots? How many blank ballots are generated versus total county population? The control and issuance of blank ballots is key.
Right? You got me? All right. If it's already reported that more people voted than who are registered, the DHS never issued the ballots more than how many people were registered. Is that understood?
Right.
That is direct evidence of fraud. Period.
Why did the same counties under dispute today refuse to turn over voter registration information upon request to the Voter Fraud Commission? Remember back in 2018, we had that Voter Fraud Commission that had been set up right at the beginning of President Trump's term. Turned out that Voter Fraud Commission actually was filled with fraud itself. And President Trump had to basically do away with it because it was filled with so much fraud. Why was the Voter Fraud Commission disbanded and turned over to DHS, which is what's happened? What vested authority does DHS have compared to a commission body? Well, we see back on July 12th of this year, what they did is they instituted and took complete control of the federal ballots and they issued
Dave 73. Thank you. Thank you for the Ninjaghini. Thank you guys for all the Ninjaghinis.
Now people say, well,
Good
how
morning,
come
Bobby
if he was
Powell.
talking about this right
Good
after
morning,
the
Bobby
midterms,
Powell.
why wasn't all the fraud exposed in the midterms? Well, first of all, the commission that was in place at that point, which was the Voter Fraud Commission, this was before DHS took over the ballots at the federal level, that it was filled with fraud. But see, the Patriots didn't want to stop all the fraud that went on in 2018. And why? Because of this. Joe M says this: surprised that some followed the miracle of the plan for 3 years and marveled at its sophistication, but for the first time are willing to forget everything we have learned about the art of war. Remember the midterms back in 2018? We couldn't understand why we lost the House. Then it all made sense. We kept the Senate because we needed the Senate. We lost the House because we didn't want the House. We wanted them to expose their crimes through impeachment and many other frauds like withholding pandemic relief, etc. What happened yesterday is as much part of the plan as everything else. It has been flawlessly executed, and we have lured the enemy countless times into traps when they thought we were losing. Now is no different. You will soon see why this had to happen. Don't ruin these few days ahead for yourself with worry. Remember, what you have learned about Trump and Q, they simply cannot lose no matter how it looks. Military grade, keep enjoying the show.
Right.
And then he says, it is impossible that Trump loses. We can predict very little, but this is one we can with unshakable certainty.
Boom.
And then he talks about President Trump's inflammatory tweet about claiming Pennsylvania, claiming Georgia, North Carolina, claiming Michigan. And Joe M says, why would POTUS tweet such an inflammatory thing, calling a result before the result, if it were not to provoke the left into claiming he stole Michigan when he wins? This supports the theory that we want both sides to demand voter fraud investigations. And both sides will be yelling, screaming for voter fraud investigations in all sorts of states all across the union. And that's when President Trump and Rudy Giuliani's in on this too. That's why he's going out, pointing out all the fraud in Pennsylvania right now. Eric Trump is in on this, and a couple of others. Corey Lewandowski, he knows about this. They are about to reveal all the massive fraud that all these deep state elites have been involved in pushing these fake ballots, and it's going to take down them all. And then it's going to reveal the true results, which is an absolute landslide for President Trump. So again, way back on June 22nd of this year, President Trump tweeted, rigged 2020 election. Millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. It will be the scandal of our times. That's what Trump predicted way back in June of this year.
We're losing at any given moment 400 a whack. Okay, every time you guys hit that subscribe button, we get a bunch of people in. Boom, we lose 400 people, and it's not because they're leaving voluntarily. Just know that it's going to require that we push past this thing. I need all hands on deck. We're at war, ladies and gentlemen. If you've ever sat silently in the background and not listened to somebody say, and click the subscribe button and hit that like button, that thumbs up button, and then click the alerts button for all alerts, and you do all that stuff and leave a comment, this is literally the ammunition we need to reach as many people worldwide on YouTube. We need to use YouTube like our little biatch, okay? Leave a comment down below, checkmate, okay? Checkmate, death to the New World Order, okay? Leave that comment, checkmate, death to the New World Order. The global elites are coming down. President Trump will, I say President Trump will be victorious. All humanity will be victorious through this mechanism right now that's happening. Leave your comment down below on YouTube, and let's everybody needs to participate in this. If you're on if you're on Roku, get to your phone, go to YouTube, leave a comment, click that subscribe button. Death to the New World Order. Death to the New World Order.
And then JD Burning One reveals, consider the Department of Homeland Security controlled official ballots production. Dems print extras not knowing about non-radioactive isotope watermarks, watch the water, on official ballots. Military sting operation after weeding out all counterfeit ballots. Trump landslide confirmed. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It's going to happen, folks.
Hallelujah.
This is where we're headed.
Yes.
Take heart. Let's pray. Let's pray.
That's right. That's absolutely right. We're going to take a short break. I have to do that. I have to take care of a telephone call real quick. If you guys have the means to support us over at DLive and you're on DLive, we appreciate your support. If you like the work that we do, if you don't support us. That's okay with me too, right? Huh? I mean, you don't have to. It's all voluntary, right?
It's all voluntary.
We work really hard. All of your support goes towards building our teams of investigators to expose this stuff and help make sense of the world and keep our infrastructure so that it cannot be deleted by the New World Order. Okay? Right now, we have an infrastructure that cannot be deleted.
Yeah.
They would literally have to come SWAT team me in order to shut me down.
And
everyone will be able to tune into us.
We want to urge everyone to look at the information for yourself. Everything that Pete is telling you, go research it yourself.
Go
okay?
research it yourself.
And listen.
When I said that I looked at a patent, go look at the patent yourself.
Here's
right?
the thing that we have to remember. We are a people, Pete, who wants instant gratification. Remember that Trump is going to be in office. They're saying that Joe Biden has got this and that he's winning. But just remember this. They cannot get him out of office until January the 20th. He is still the president of the United States of America.
Yes.
Don't forget that. Even if they call Joe Biden as the new president, he's far from it.
Well, based on what everybody knows right now, you will look at the news completely differently here for the next several hours. You need to know that there's 3,600 troops right now in 16 states that are doing these audits. They know which ballots are good and which ballots are bad. It doesn't matter what the count is. It doesn't matter how many they applied to Joe Biden. It doesn't matter until after they do the audit and say, these are no good. And guess what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen?
Right.
Before we go to the break, just take this into your soul. You ready? We will take the House. We will take the Senate. And we will have the presidency, and a whole bunch of Democrats are going to jail. That the anxiety that everybody feels as they have literally used psychological warfare through the mainstream media to slow cook us into basically disappointment, okay? And to set us up for potential violence, that you now have a sense of hope that no matter what they say on the news is all a fraud. It's all a lie, and it's all been set up by President Trump. If you're on YouTube right now, I need you to leave. When I say leave a comment, checkmate, death to the New World Order. We're going to bring it down. We, the people, are going to do that. President Trump is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, what is going to happen here going forward once we get past this thing? Once we expose the fraud, the United States of America will then announce to the world that we have the means right now, because of this election fraud, to change elections forever. That the Central Intelligence Agency that has corrupted voting machines won't even apply anymore. Okay? You won't have to go to a voting machine that somebody else controls. They won't be able to manipulate your vote after you cast it in the blockchain. It will be locked in. That's it. There will be a ledger. Okay? You will cast your vote if you choose to vote. It's not going to be mandatory. It's not accepting any mark of the beast. Okay? Don't tell me we can't make advances in technology in order to secure votes. Okay? I am not going to be resistant in any way, shape, or form, because if I don't want that number, I won't go vote. How about that? I have a choice. But if you do vote, it will be on a ledger. It will have an encryption that can never be changed. The voter rolls will be completely wiped out. There will never again be a dead person on a voter roll, okay? It'll be wiped out with the first election on the new blockchain technology, all right? How do you like that? The world will be changed forever as a result of what's happening right now, and it's being led by one of the most brilliant people. I'm telling you right now, this is a masterful, brilliant thing. Leave a message in our comments on YouTube so that we can reach as many people as possible. We're literally losing at any given moment. 400 people at a time will come in. 400 people get wiped out. They're literally suppressing this information. We're going to push past that. I'm watching it. Are you watching it?
I am.
I'm literally looking at the analytics. 400 to 500 people come in and automatically get deleted. They're trying to suppress it. This thing should be going hyper viral. We should have, within a matter of 3 or 4 hours, 1 million views on this thing for everybody around the world. let everyone around the world know that there is no other broadcast like this that began. And I'm going to play again. If you're just tuning in, I'm going to play what started this. This validates what Steve Pieczenik said, okay? Let's go back and listen to what Steve Pieczenik said. Listen very closely here, okay? You ready, Deb Jordan? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to leave our text alert down at the bottom and also rotate in and out to PeteSantilli.mobi. They cannot shut us down. They cannot suppress information. Their game is over. Silicon Valley is done, is finished. It's over for them. Thank you, Owen Schroyer.
The greatest battle
Hang on
in the
just a
history
second,
of
Pete.
humanity
Can you
is
stop that
happening
just a
right
second?
now. Don't sit on the
I will
sidelines.
stop it just a second.
Okay. The Trump campaign just tweeted out a statement and said, this election is not over.
This election.
They're calling for him to concede. They're calling, it's not, I don't know whether or not, because we're not.
We preempted everything that they're doing right now. Death to the New World Order. Leave a comment in YouTube, okay? Leave a comment on YouTube. We will never again look at the news.
And Mark Levin just echoed out on Parler. He says, attention media and big tech, decision desk, don't call elections under our Constitution. Stop trying to influence the outcome.
Yes.
9 minutes ago, Trump is still sending out text messages asking for support.
Yes.
He has not given up. Do not listen to the mainstream media, you guys, regardless of whatever they call.
Yes.
Whatever they call. He's not going to concede. And and even if they do it, he's the president of the United States.
Yes.
Still.
Ready to Go Freedom just dropped another ninjet. We got another ninjet right now. Look at that. We're now at 111,000 lemons. Thank everybody. Deb Jordan. Thank you guys for all your support. We need it now. All of your support will go towards us building an investigative team and a broadcast network that cannot be taken down and that cannot be compromised. I want to work for you. I want to work for you. I want to supplement what we do with advertisers like the Fighter Flare flashlight is a great flashlight. Do I not walk around with that flashlight everywhere?
Every day.
I walk around with that Fighter Flare flashlight. That's a great item. We will have items like that if you buy it, that we have small sponsorships to help supplement us. But all of your support goes towards us building our team and building a news network that cannot be compromised.
Really know the final numbers. I think he probably even broke Barack Obama's record in the popular vote, but we'll never know with all the votes that got flipped by the machines, all the Trump ballots that were burned, all the fake Biden ballots and everything.
We're going to listen to Steve
Dr.
Pieczenik
Steve
here.
Pieczenik, as we're in the middle of this, the election's over. We're now in the stealing process of the election. What are you seeing? What's going through your mind as you're witnessing this gigantic hoax?
Number one, it's not a hoax. What's happening now, and the reason I couldn't come on the Alex Jones show last night was I was not given the permission that I needed to in order to say what I'm about to say now. I do not work for the federal government. I'm not paid by them. Let me just say again what I said in 2016. There are honorable members of our intelligence, military, and civilian community in the government who understood exactly how corrupt Biden and the Democratic machinery was, and will be. This is really a sting operation. Contrary to what everybody else said, Trump knew this was happening. Eric knew this was happening and warned the public. I knew this was happening. However, I could not say anything about it. What happened was we watermarked every ballot with what's called the QFS blockchain encryption code. In other words, we know pretty well where every ballot is, where it went, and who has it. So,
do you now understand, after listening to me and everything I presented now, Deb Jordan, do you understand what the QFS blockchain encryption code means much more now, right?
And see, that's the point of the show, you guys. Yesterday, we were like, we didn't know. We didn't know what
I
the
didn't
hell
know what
he was
QFS
talking
was
about
until 3 a.m.
And now when you listen to what he has to say, it makes a little more sense.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Thank you, Steve Pieczenik. We need to get Steve Pieczenik on the show. Okay. We really, really do. Great work, and this inspired divinely I would say, because good patriots are coming together right now to share information.
This is not a stolen election. On the contrary, we reversed the entire game of war along the lines of Sun Tzu, the art of war. And Trump was brilliant and still is brilliant at it. The reason he hasn't been seen, and Alex correctly said, oh, I haven't seen him in several days. Well, in the art of the war, you pull back, allow your enemy to make all the mistakes that they are making, manipulate the situation, expose them, and then come in for the final killing. And that's what's happening now. None of this was unexpected. All of this was expected. All of this is part of the sting operation we're running. And let me tell you that 48 hours ago, not only did we put markers on those ballots, but I can say now, with the permission of people in the intelligence community and elsewhere, that we have sent out thousands and thousands of National Guards to 12 different states: Washington, Delaware, Texas, Arizona.
Okay, now look at what it says down at the bottom here. Let me move out of the way here, okay, so that way you guys can see the graphic. After weeding out of all the counterfeit ballots, now once they're submitted and we start hearing, oh, Joe Biden's the winner, that's when we can start looking at all the ballots and say, okay, let's take a look at the wins. That's a bogus ballot. Let's delete that. And all of a sudden, they're going to recount everything, and there's going to be a brand new result. Once they weed out all those counterfeit ballots that have been locked in, right? Does that make sense? You understand this has to play out the way it is. You guys are impatient, right? I'm impatient. I want a result on election night. That's not what this is about. This is about cleaning up an election system that is corrupt. And the only way to do that is to let this play out.
Alabama and everywhere. So now you have to consider and rethink what this is really about. The genius of Trump is that he is able to pull back at any point and manipulate the opponent without the opponent ever realizing. He has said repeatedly, hashtag steal the vote. That's exactly what he has said for months. Then he made a very clear implication. He said, I will use common sense or my intelligence.
This guy talking is Steve Pieczenik. He's a very, very, very long-term reputable intel guy. He's got contacts at Mossad, MI6, CIA, on the good side of things. And there are white hats, and he's, I believe, one of them, and I've known him for and listened to him for years. His name is Dr. Steve Pieczenik. Very dangerous man on the good side of things.
Intelligence, i.e. both literal and figurative intelligence. And those of us in the intelligence community, be it who they are, again, what I said in 2016, when we exposed Hillary Clinton, we now exposed, and it was Trump who initiated this, Biden family. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, Jim Biden, Frank, the whole family was played right into a game where they were convicted, and you're seeing what's happening now. What was not announced is that we watermarked all the ballots with what I said at QFS blockchain, which is a very hard encryption code to break. And the second thing is we sent probably 20,000 or more National Guards 48 hours ago. None of it was reported, and I thank the press for not reporting it and others. So what in fact is happening is you're seeing a sophisticated sting operation that was initiated by Trump. I'm just a lowly peasant in this game. And honestly, I was informed that I could say something about it today, only last night. That's why I could not come on.
Well,
This is the reverse of what you guys have been thinking. It's not a civil war. We have not been surprised in any way. This has been set up by Trump for a long, long time. In the same way that we knew about Hillary Clinton, I warned about the coup that we would do it counter to, and this is our counter to again.
Now, you see that he put up on the screen, right? I went and I ran, just type in that title. You can go see it. You get links right to the patent.
It's the Bidens. And that's exactly what we expected. The corruption in the mail, the corruption of USPS, corruption with the Democrats, everywhere and anywhere. There was no surprise here. And that's why we deployed National Guard soldiers to 12 different states.
Well,
Nothing was said about
Steve, you've just broken certainly perhaps the biggest news
of our life
since the election here on this show. I have to play this out logically in my head.
That's why I go on your show to basically, I keep.
Well, I love you, Steve. I'd kiss you on the lips right now if it wasn't digitally.
Yeah.
But
there's too many people watching us.
We're open like that. We're tolerant. But Steve, following your logic here, I mean, are arrests inevitably coming down the road?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're coming not just down the road, they're being implemented. What you saw Corey Wendowski and Pam Biondi saying when they were in Clay County and as well in Philadelphia, that was not just a threat. That was exactly what's going to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, there have been criminal referrals because of the voter fraud. And you've already heard about those. You're going to start hearing about them, but not on your terms. So we have to be patient and learn and share, right? Be patient, learn, and share. This is high-level stuff, way above our pay grade.
People will be arrested as of tonight, tomorrow, and it will go on for quite a while. And this was a total sting operation that I can say.
So
I will
explain
not be by anybody else. I have the permission to say it. I do not deal with classified information, as you know. I do not work for our government, but because I'm loyal to the Republic, and I work with a lot of people who are loyal to this Republic, including the 16 intelligence services, the Secret Service, our civilian service. They've all been great, and they've kept it quiet. And I've been given the permission to say what I just said. I have nothing more to say, but this is not a surprise here. This is the biggest sting operation probably in our country that we've ever had.
Well, and it would be the genius of Trump. But Steve, I got to ask in the last minute 45 here to kind of hone in. So how is this watermark on the ballots? What is the significance of that as to, is it going to stop from fake ballots being counted, or how is that going to be used?
Well, we use it in any way that we need to use it in terms of counting, knowing which ones were fake, which ones were not. It's a very sophisticated code. So if you just throw them away, these are cyber communication implementations that we have the code for. We know exactly what was thrown away. We know exactly what was placed. We know exactly who has it, and we know exactly where it went. I can't go any further than that.
You got that? He said, I can't go any further than that. Everything he just described, and then you consider the non-radioactive isotopes, they literally can use satellites to communicate with the ballots. Okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. It's that sophisticated.
Wow, this is huge news that Steve Pieczenik is breaking on our show right now. For me to reiterate, I guess in my own words, President Trump and his administration and friendlies inside the White House in D.C. have launched a sting operation knowing this Democrat fraud was coming. And, you know, Steve, you said Trump's been talking about this for months. Actually, it's really been years. This is from President Trump on October 10th, 2012. He said, "It doesn't matter who you vote for. It matters who is counting the votes." End quote. Be careful of voter fraud. So he's obviously known about this forever. I mean, is this the genius of Trump playing out? I mean, long term?
Yeah. Trump is far more brilliant than people understood. I knew about Trump. I don't personally work for him, and I don't deal personally with him, but he knows that I've known him for well over 30 to 40 years when he built ice skating rinks for free. And I had my children go there, and he was very gracious to New York and to the United States.
All right, Deb, Jordan, do me a huge favor, okay? And everybody, great breaking news from InfoWars. Whether you like them or not, this is great information. I hope you liked it and appreciate it. I'm looking over at YouTube right now. Is going to be our poke through the big brick wall. All right. Right now, we need to reach as many people on YouTube as possible. This video, through everyone's participation. When I say we're at war, we're at war. This is an information war. This is a godly mission. I need everybody to go to our YouTube channel right now. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure that you click that thumbs up button. Make sure you click the alerts button. Listen, I couldn't care less about subscribers on YouTube. I really couldn't. I'm not about subscribers on YouTube because we've lost hundreds of thousands of them over, the succession of two. The reason why you're going to do that is that's the ammunition that we need to reach people around the world. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. This is our ammunition in this information war, is we need to push through the algorithm. And by doing that activity, it'll reach more people. I'm watching the numbers go up and down by 400 or 500 points. We need to outpace the machinery, okay? Outpace the machinery. And the objective is if you can reach one person on the other side of the world who can share on their platforms, and they won't be able to keep up with it. That's the objective. Right. Let's get to millions and millions of people around the world, and it can be done by a small group of us right now on this small little channel. It's my backup channel on YouTube. Let's do it. We can take a small channel and reach millions of people, and it can happen through a small group of us just by following my direction. Then leave a comment down below. The comment is checkmate, death to the New World Order. Death to the New World Order.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm going to urge everybody to please get on these alternative sites because they've taken down all your favorites. Like this morning, Pete, Dinesh D'Souza, he over on Parler, he said, for the last 4 years, President Trump has had our back. Now it's time for us to have his. He's not, excuse me, he's not giving up, and neither am I. Listen, you guys, there are people out there that are still fighting, all right? We have to stop listening to the mainstream media. What's her name? Megyn Kelly is calling for the president to concede. We knew this was going to happen days ago. We had guest on, Mr. Simpson, who broke this down for us and told us that is exactly what's going to happen. They are going to call Joe Biden the winner. All the mainstream media is going to start on Trump to concede in this election. And we knew this was coming. So I know that everybody wants to have our nerves settled, and we want Trump to do certain things. But listen, he came right out and said he's fighting. His sons and his administration is out there fighting. I'm hearing that the Republicans are finally weighing in. I know we heard, who did we hear last night? Ted Cruz last night. They're kind of weak on the point right now. But if the American people, if we as Americans show that we have a fighting spirit and we are ready to get behind the president, and we don't start buying in to the mainstream media narrative and all of these libtards on Facebook and Twitter. They're right now, to be on Facebook and Twitter and actually be susceptible to that is very dangerous for y'all right now. It's very dangerous for everybody. Get on someplace like Parler, get on our Telegram, where there are people supporting you and your fight and your inner spirit, your patriotism, because you are going to get sorely disappointed by staying on Facebook and all of these places where people are arguing and fighting and coming at you, and you keep hearing the news that Joe Biden has won. Trump is still the president of the United States of America. He is still. These are only projections, okay? Until Trump concedes and there is a notary or whatever, what's that called, stamped on it, on this, it ain't over. And he's just tweeted out that he's not done. This election is not over, he's saying. And we have to get behind him and show him that we are behind him still, just like Dinesh D'Souza said. We can't be out there going, oh, my God, this is horrible, and we're going to lose. The first day I did that, oh, my gosh. Then I got some sleep, and I woke up, and I was like, man, as long as my president is going to fight, I'm going to fight with him, right? He has had our back for the last 4 years. He has. All right, now is not the time. I think this information that Pete just put out here today is a fine example of a way that this could go and that could be happening. We need to do our own research, right? Like Bill Cooper said, read everything you can get your hands on. Read and watch everything, and then do your own research and come to your own conclusions.
That's right.
Okay?
Yep. We can defeat this evil entity that is upon us. Okay? We don't idolize somebody like President Trump. We believe that we can get behind him because he's working on our behalf. And if you don't see that by now, okay, we're talking about a worldwide movement now. We've now gone from a United States election to the potential right now to free all of humanity. This is how big this is. President Trump right now can change the entire world with this one move right here. It doesn't matter what. As a matter of fact, when you go listen to Fox News, you'll never listen to them in the same exact way ever again from this point forward. Okay? Now, I've shown you the patents that are in place right now. The U.S. Postal Service has what Steve Pieczenik just described, the QFS, Quantum Financial System, blockchain technology, that even if President Trump were to not be president and Joe Biden had legitimate ballots submitted, we're still going to change the world with QFS blockchain technology.
Right.
Do you understand that? The world is going to change no matter what. Even if Biden had legitimate, let's say he won. Let's say he won. If you just said, oh, well, what if he won? Okay, give it to him. The world will change. Elections will never be corrupted ever again through this mechanism. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you this episode with so much love, I can't even express it. Okay? Love first and foremost for our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
First and foremost. My loyalty is to God, to my country, and my Marine Corps. My Marine Corps includes you as my extended family, the Marine Corps.
That's right.
I want every single man, woman, and child right now to rise up like you've never risen up before, and you get online and you tell if you can go reach one person, that's your objective. If you can go reach one person with the truth that we've put in this thing, that is your duty right now in order to help save humanity. We do this. We are inconquerable. Inconquerable. We cannot be overpowered. Leave a comment. Let's pick YouTube right now. Subscribe. Click that thumbs up button. Click the alerts button, okay? You do all that activity, then leave a comment below. Every single person. We've had tens of thousands of people come through just our YouTube channel alone today. By doing that, we will grow this thing exponentially, and in 4 hours, 5 hours, we should have 1 million people that we have reached worldwide. And our objective is only to reach one person with the truth. Why? Because this is what's coming. He has told us what is coming here. And I'm gonna end on this note right here. You ready?
Is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment.
We'll see you guys at
with a new government controlled
6 p.m.
by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations
and Bobby
that fund
Powell will give you a call here
for
in
only
just a few
one
minutes.
reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever is necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefit of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
We will, and I want to, of course, not follow that. I want to ask you right now to just reach deep within you right now. Every single person has a duty right now. And I listen, that there's only one objective here. I don't seek wealth, fame, fortune. I've actually submitted to a life of poverty for love of country by doing this. I had a very successful business. But I dedicated 10 years ago to this effort to come to this moment in time where I could reach as many people. We've reached millions of people worldwide over the past 10 years, and they've stopped us. And every single step, we've never, ever, we've taken slings and arrows for our country, for our fellow countrymen, with a godly spirit, a godly mission. I want you to reach deep down inside of you right now, and every single person right now. Do your part. Let's take YouTube and use that as an example, just one Silicon Valley platform, and just poke through and reach. If you can reach one person anywhere in the world right now, this isn't just for America. Let's show the entire world the American spirit. That we run this place, not a global elite. That they cannot enslave us. If God is with us, we're inconquerable. Who would ever dare be against us? Right? Push that subscribe button, even if you're not even on YouTube. Get over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button right now. Hit the alert buttons, right? Let's get this thing to millions of people around the world, ladies and gentlemen, and let them know what the American spirit is all about. We, the people, will push through this thing. We will conquer this evil that is upon us in this world. President Trump is going to get us. He's going to change the world through this stuff. I've already laid it out. If you don't believe that, then go back and rewind it and listen to everything again. It's all you need to do. Do your own research so that you feel comfortable. Do your own research. Sorry, I had you on mute.
Oh, that's okay, because we're getting the news now, and I know everybody sees it in thread, but people on the back line who are just listeners and on other channels who aren't seeing it, Georgia has announced there will be a recount in Georgia.
Recount in Georgia. So here we go with the audit, right? Okay. That's what we want. We want recounts. We want the audit of all of these ballots. We want to check to see what the DHS had on these ballots as far as, right?
Yep.
The QFS encrypted, right? Blockchain watermark on each and every one of the ballots. All ballots that don't have that will be deleted, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? Have this in your soul. We're going to take back the House. We're going to take the Senate. We're going to have the presidency, and we, the people, are going to be the shining example that we always have been throughout our entire history to free all of humanity.
Amen.
I love you guys, and we'll see you at 6 p.m. Eastern time or when news breaks. Make sure you're on our text alert system. Text range to 81257. If you can't, maybe you're outside of the country, because we want to reach people. This is why we're doing YouTube. We can reach people all throughout the world, okay? Go to petesantilli.mobi, okay? And when you go to petesantilli.mobi, you will be able to actually click the link at the top and go directly to our, get on our Telegram chat, okay? We can reach you worldwide. You can get alerts there. Don't put the alerts on in our regular chat room right there, because there's hundreds of people there right now. There will be thousands of them, okay? But we will set you up so that you can get Pete Santilli Show alerts on our Telegram page. There's our Telegram show feed. When you click that, it'll take you right to our Telegram show feed, which will show all of our shows, okay? And all of our posts will immediately go directly to you, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you at 6 p.m. tonight. And you can stay tuned to the 24/7 stream, of course, over on DLive. So stay with us. Text alerts, right? Do that. petesantilli.mobi. Reach deep down inside. Don't hide behind your computer with complacency. That's what Silicon Valley wants you to do, to remain a useless info feeder, okay? They want you just feeding on their information. Resist that. Push past it. Click that subscribe button. Click that thumbs up button. Click the alerts button, select all. Then go and leave a message down below. Checkmate. Death to the New World Order. I love you guys. We'll see you tonight.
The bipartisan commission chaired by Jimmy Carter and James Baker said back in 2009 that mail-in voting is fraught with the risk of fraud and coercion.
But since then,
and until this
administration haven't proved it.
Let me talk. In the newspapers, in networks, academic studies saying it is open to fraud and coercion. The only time the narrative changed is after this administration came in. Elections that have been held with mail have found substantial fraud and coercion.
As far as widespread fraud, we haven't seen that since.
Well, we haven't had the kind of widespread use of mail-in ballots that's being proposed. We've had absentee ballots from people who request them from a specific address. Now what we're talking about is mailing them to everyone on the voter list when everyone knows those voter lists are inaccurate. People trying to change the rules to this methodology, which, as a matter of logic, is very open to fraud and coercion, is reckless and dangerous. And the people are playing with fire.
48207. 48207. All right, so I'm checking on the Michigan Voter Information Center for William Bradley, born in March of 1902. Our friend is registered to vote, received his application, sent his ballot, and his ballot was received and counted. This man was born in 1902. I wonder how many more of these Joe Biden has.
So I'm in downtown Detroit at the TCF Center, which is in the heart of Detroit, in the heart of the D. And I had a couple of people reach out to me and say, could you do another Facebook Live and explain where you're at and why you're here? You can see behind me, that giant room behind me is where they are contesting ballots. So something that's very interesting that happened here in Detroit is, I just talked to a guy that's been here all night. They were ready to shut down the precinct. They had counted all the ballots. Everything was good. Everything went smoothly. And then it was at about 4 a.m. that 3 vehicles arrived, a van, a Chrysler 300, and a Ferrari with 130,000 plus ballots. He said he was astonished as they started counting the ballots. He was astonished that every single ballot, like literally 100% of that 130,000 ballots were all Biden ballots that hadn't been delivered to the precinct before the cutoff time for this precinct. So obviously there's, that's just a big irregularity, something that points to large-scale voter fraud, and it literally is being contested by the President of the United States in a lawsuit right now for the state of Michigan. We literally have people that watched it happen. I talked to people that are here. They're like, what? 130,000 ballots that haven't been verified, that are just being taken in. We have poll challengers that have been barred from being able to go into this room to challenge ballots. We've had GOP members removed from the room. You're allowed to have a certain number depending on the number of precincts. I think it's 134 precincts that we have in Michigan, or excuse me, not in Michigan, in this particular county, Wayne County, Michigan. And we probably have maybe 50 to 60 representatives that have been allowed to go in to challenge. Mind you, according to federal law, for each precinct, there is to be one Democrat, one Republican to challenge. That hasn't been allowed in 24, well, actually since like this morning, since about 5 a.m. this morning, when those 130 ballots were dropped off. We then had the situation where at one point that people here in Detroit who are poll challengers or poll watchers were being barred from the building based on an order from the governor and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services saying that capacity limits had been met. Now, mind you, that room had capacity limits. We didn't have the number of people that we were allowed to by law that we were supposed to have in the room. The rest of the building, like I'm in a 40,000 square foot building. 40,000, or is it 400,000 square feet? Very, very, very big. Cobo, it's the old Cobo Arena. And we're spread out all over. Like I can run down the hall naked. I'm not going to do that, don't worry. But I could and not be seen by anybody. I could pick a hall. That's how not populated it is. So that we have the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services treating this like it's any regular day, not a ballot counting polling situation, which is regulated by federal law during times such as these to operate under a different law than what is normal for capacity during COVID times. So, in addition, we know, like we've seen, we've heard, that poll workers, the poll contesters are being harassed and intimidated. The ACLU was allowed in to the room and to interfere with somebody from the GOP to challenge a poll. And I'm like, why does the ACLU get to have representation, but nonpartisan and Republicans are being barred from not only entering the challenge room, but also the building? At one point, I left the building, and again, I'm at TCF in Detroit to go and make copies. And I got stuck in an elevator because the security guard said I wasn't allowed to go back up. And I'm like, these are, I talked my way out, out of that, of course, because, it's me. These are official documents for the GOP, which they were, to contest polling practices, and I need to go up. This is my person that I came with is here. My car keys are here. There were a lot of people that were locked out of the building after they'd been in. They left for lunch. They weren't allowed back in, again, under the order of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. So, shenanigans in Detroit. And I'm not making light of it because it's really heartbreaking that this is what we've come to as a country. This is what we've stooped to as a country. Shame on us. Shame on us that partisan politics has taken away common decency, truth, honesty, integrity. It is disgusting what is happening in Detroit. It is disgusting. And it isn't about an election. It is about major fraud on a major scale that was very well organized. So I'm just going to reverse the angle on the camera so that you guys can kind of see what's going on. I'll get as close as I can without getting arrested. So what you have here is, and they put up a bunch of signs to block too. So this is where all the GOP people that are waiting to get into the room are standing. They just a few minutes ago let in 5 people, but no more than 5 people. And we know that we're down probably 50 people in there. So it's been very interesting. Detroit Police Department is representing. Again, when I got stuck in the elevator with the security guard told me that it was the management company for TCF Center that was making the call on locking people out. And so I tracked that person down and I talked to him, and I have his business card. And he's like, no, it wasn't us. He's like, I don't know where that would be coming from. Michigan Department of Health and Human Services was also here, and I chased him down. And I talked to him, and he's like, well, I don't know voting laws. And I'm like, well, why are you here trying to regulate? Because this is a voting situation. This is a poll counting location. This is not business as usual. Why are you even here? And he's like, well, I'm calling my supervisor, and I will, I'm waiting for direction from my supervisor. So I asked who his supervisor was. Her last name is Fair. And then he ran away from me down the escalator and met with Captain Johnson from the Detroit Police Department and promised me that he'd come back out to give me an update. Of course he didn't. So, it's very obvious that, things aren't as they should be. And I'm really glad that it's being contested. It's really discouraging, and it's a little bit heartbreaking, but I'm a person of faith, and I believe that God is bigger than even this, and no matter what, God reigns. So again, from the TCF Center in Detroit, I will go ahead and post this and share it. So if you're just joining and you've missed out, this is the poll counting. And mind you, I can't wear a mask, won't wear a mask, and I've been here all day. So, yeah. Keep praying, pray big.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.